Hello, welcome back. Today we're looking at the question 2 of Computer Studies, Paper 3, WAEC 2023. And the question says, as a member of a road safety club in your school, you are to make presentation on the analysis of road accidents within a week. With an appropriate application package, produce a 4-slide presentation as shown in the information provided. Now the question is, what application are we going to use? A presentation software will be adequate. Okay, so in this case we're going to use PowerPoint. Now let me launch the PowerPoint quickly. Okay, so you click on blank presentation. So they said in slide 1 will be the introduction, and the font will be Garamond size 54. Okay, so the adequate introduction will have to align with what you're presenting. They say it's a presentation on the analysis of road accidents within a week. Okay, so this is very good to serve as the introduction. So let's quickly go there. So this is the title page. So here, analysis of road accidents within a week. Then size is 54. Type that in there. And then the font name Garamond, yeah. Okay, so there we are. Nextly, we're told that the subhead should have a font of the same font name but different size, 18. Then the body Times New Roman. Okay, so clearly we were not told what to put in there as the body or what to put in there as the subhead, so we just need to come up with something. Okay, so let me say that maybe we are looking at a case study of maybe any road of your choice. Case study of let me use Takot-Aba Express Road. So what will serve as our body? So let's say the body will be the presenter. Okay, which will be myself. Remember, this is supposed to be Garamond. I think it's size 18. And then this is meant to be, is it Times New Roman? Let me see. Times New Roman size 18. You type it in, Times New Roman 18. All right, so I can decide to space this a little bit more. Good, and we're good to go. All right, so we're done with the first slide. So the next slide says the heading should have the same font name, but this time around the size is 44. Okay, so we need to add a new slide. Okay, so to add a new slide, you just need to come here and click on new slide. Okay, Garamond, and then size 44, I believe. Okay, let's see the question again. So the question is, what are we going to add in slide 2? Okay, so we were not told what to add in slide 2, so we need to make this up as we go. Okay, the slide 2 will contain hollow square bullet, possibly a bullet point of the accidents for the whole week. So let's say weekly accident record. So here we need to change it to bullet point, which is this one, hollow square bullets. So for Monday, for Tuesday, Wednesday, so the question is, what are the accidents for each of these days? So you were not told what numbers to use, so you're free to pick any numbers of your choice. Okay, I think I missed out Sunday. Okay, so this looks good. All right, so the font Garamond, but we were not told what size to use here, so change this Garamond, and then we can just leave it at this very number. Yeah. Okay, so there's something I did not do here. Please remember that as soon as you start your work, it is important for you to save. You save your work into the folder that you have created already on your desktop. Okay, please, 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 this is very, 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 very important. Okay, so I'm going to hit the S, and then that's Ctrl S. Okay, so I am going to drop this in the folder, but meanwhile, let's go back and see if there's any file name they asked us to use. They say save your work in the folder created on the desktop. Okay, so there's, it doesn't matter what file name we choose to use. Okay, so I'm just going to click save. So remember that you save your work as you go progressively. Very, very important. So I think we're done with slide 2, so let's move to slide 3. Now the slide 3 says the heading font should be Accord Heavy, and then the size should be 25. So the question is, what are we adding there? Now if you look down a bit, you will see where they said table. Okay, so this is the heading, this is the body, so that means that the table should be of this font type, Times New Roman, and then the size should be 24, which is the table here. So it means that the data that we have entered here, we need to present it as a table. Okay, so let's do that. So you get a new slide. So we click here, size 25. You can just type it. Accord Heavy. I do not have this font name in my application. Okay, so if you don't, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Just press enter and it is going to use a default font. Okay, so if you continue, this will be saved as the current font. Okay, so you just leave it that way. Okay, so what will be the heading? Remember, it is going to be in a table, so we can choose a heading that represents the data that we want to display here. So let's just call it breakdown of accidents. Okay, breakdown of accidents. All right, so the next thing is for us to insert our table. So we can choose to break down the accident. Okay, maybe morning, afternoon, evening, or you can just say day and night, or you can even just put up a table. Okay, put this in one column, in the next column. Okay, so anywhere that you choose to do it, it will be just fine. So let's come here, insert the table. So the question is, how many rows, how many columns? I'm not sure of the number of columns and rows, so let's just leave it at this, and then we'll possibly continue to add up as we proceed. So this table, we have 5 columns and 2 rows. So you click on OK. Let's say serial number. Now days of the week, and then we can either choose to leave it morning, evening, morning, afternoon, evening, or you can say day and night, or you can just write the same amount of data that you have there. Okay, so anyone that you choose will be just okay, since we were not specifically told if we need to break it down or not. So let's call this frequency of accidents. Now we need to group this, because here will be for morning, here will be for morning, afternoon, and then evening. So we need to merge this together. We can choose to centralize this to make it look a lot better. Okay, good. So remember that the font size that we were told to use is we need to use Times New Roman, size 24. So let me adjust this a little bit. Okay, so this looks good now. So this should be for day 1. Okay, Now remember, we need to put this data in there. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way to Sunday. Okay, so Monday. Now remember that Monday is for 12. We have 12 accidents recorded here, so it is important for us to break it down so that when we sum morning, afternoon, evening, we're going to have 12. Okay, so and that goes for Tuesday, goes for Wednesday, all the way to Sunday. Okay, and then when you're done with that, it is important for us to also merge this place so that it's going to look better off. So we select both of them, and then we do merge cells. Okay, the same thing here, merge cells, the same way we merged this one. Okay, just to add a little more beauty to it, I will want this to be at the center, so I'll select the two of them, and then I'll come here, and then I'll click middle. Okay, so that way it looks a lot better. All right, so you can now begin to enter the days. Okay, in my case, let's say I use 4 here. In the afternoon, I can do 3, and then 3. Right, how many accidents do we have here? Oh, 12. Okay, so that won't work, so I have to do like maybe 5 here. So I am going to assume that accidents happen more at night. Yeah, okay, so I just did that. So 4, 3, 5. So when you add this up, you're going to have 12. Okay, so you do the same thing for these days, Tuesdays all the way to Sunday. Okay, so with this, I have entered all the numbers. Now you can, maybe for the sake of convenience, you can do a double check just to make sure that each of the numbers that you added up there, okay, when you sum them up, you're going to have these numbers. Okay, so you can just check again just to be sure. All right, okay, so we're going to do slide number 4. All right, so you see here they said format as desired. Okay, so we can choose to leave them this way, which is very perfect. Okay, I think let me do a bold here so that so this looks a lot good like this. Okay, all right, so the next thing we need to do is to look for slide 4. Slide 4 says the heading font should be accord heavy, the size should be 28. So since we don't have this, there's no point burdening ourselves with that, so we will just have to so let's go to slide 4. Just change this to 24 since I do not have the font. Oh, 28, sorry, my bad. So the next thing we need to do is that we need to insert a chart here. We need to insert a clustered chart. Okay, from my experience, it is best to insert charts with Microsoft Excel. You can actually do it with PowerPoint, but it usually doesn't come out well. Okay, so let me just show you exactly what I mean. So this is what they want us to use, clustered column. So if I click this and I do OK, so for this to work, I need to copy all of this and put them inside of here. Okay, so I don't want to go through all of that. So what I want to do is to do Ctrl+Z to undo this. I will just come here, copy this table, and then open Microsoft Excel, and then go to blank. So I can paste this anywhere, so the entire table will be copied down here and pasted as well. So I am going to select everything and then double click so that it will resize them for me. Double click on the column, on the row line as well, and then I can choose to just expand this a bit. Okay, let me adjust it again. Good. So this looks good. Let me reduce the size. Aha. So when I select this, I can now use it to draw the chart that I want. Okay, I'll select the whole of this, which are the ones that we really need for the data. We don't really need the serial number. Okay, so I'll go to insert and then come here under insert column and bar chart. You see this first one says clustered column, so I'll click on it. Now you see the sample already, the preview is already there for us, so I'll click on insert and then you're going to have it right there. So you can expand it a bit to see what it looks like. Okay, so check if there's anything you need to change here. So you can easily check the values. You will see that the values actually align. For Monday you have 435. Monday 435. Okay, so that is the same for the rest of them. And then you have the blue bars represent for morning, the pink bars represent for afternoon, and then the gray bar represents evening. Okay, so I think we need to change this title. We can just call it, now remember what is the title that we gave to, so we can call it breakdown of accident. Yeah, so breakdown of accident. So let's close this. So we can possibly make this a bit bold, possibly increase the font size a little bit. Okay, what else do we need to do here? So I think this looks good. Now let's click on this to copy it. We'll copy it and then we'll go to our PowerPoint and paste it. All right, good. So we can put a caption here, say accident charts. Okay, so let's see if there are specifications. They said the heading font, so we don't have this font, so we'll leave it at that. Okay, all right, so I hope this is 28. Good. I think it's not going to cause us any trouble if we decide to centralize these things. Yeah, hey, if you're watching this video up to this point, that means you're really enjoying this video. Now why don't you take out time to just like, share, subscribe, or follow, depending on the platform that you're watching from. You know, that way the video gets to as many persons as possible. Now remember, it will cost you nothing. Thank you for doing that. Let's continue. Okay, so here we are. So I think this looks good. So practically we're done with this work. We can put a title here, a label here. So in order for us to put a title here, you just come and click on this plus there, and then you see ASIL title. When you click on it, you can get to put the title that you want. So we can select all and do number of accidents. Okay, so when we're done, you can increase the font so that you can easily see everything there. Okay, you can adjust it as much as you want. So I think this looks good. Let me expand this a bit. Okay, so this looks good. Okay, aha. All right, so I think everything is fine now. What else do we need to do? So that's that for slide 4. So we're practically done with slide 4. Again, please remember to always hit your Ctrl S. Please, as you work progressively, save your work. So the next part we need to do is to use an appropriate background of your choice. So you choose the background of your choice. You go to insert, and then you go to design, and then you choose any of the templates of your choice. Let me go for this one, and then as you're choosing, make sure that it doesn't make your work to look messy. Okay, so you check, you see the sample here. If I pick this, it's not bad. If I pick this one again, it's still not bad. Okay, So, but make sure that the one you pick is going to make your work look good. Like this one, I don't like this one because there's a lot of space up front there. So let me pick this one. I prefer this one. And I am going to double check to make sure that my fonts are okay. Okay, so all these fonts are okay. Well, we told to use 17 here. Yeah, let's check again just to be sure. Aha, you see 18. So let's change. So I don't know at what point where this changed. I'm not sure at what point, if I was the one who made the mistake before now, or it changed when I was by the time I chose a design. I'm not sure. So, but we need to just be sure again. Go over it. Okay, so I think this is okay. 24, 44. Yes, I still remember. Aha. Okay, you see here. So we need to move this a bit so that it aligns. I think we can actually push it up here. There's nothing bad with doing that. Aha. So let's see, what size is this? I'm not sure again. That was like 3. So let's double check. Like, okay, that's 24. Okay, good. And then the font. Okay, 24, 25. Good. Yeah, 24. Okay, good. And then this. So I think everything looks okay. We can move this up a little bit. Good. Okay, so this looks perfect. Now remember to do your Ctrl S. Aha, something else we need to change. You see here, we need to adjust this a bit so that the text gets to appear fully. Okay, so this is what you need to do once you select a design style, because the design style comes with some predefined specifications, okay, that may not exactly work with your previous work. All right, next thing, insert header with the text statistical analysis for records of accidents in a week. Okay, there are 2 forms of headers here. There is the header that should appear on each page here, and then there is another header that should appear when you print your work, especially if you're printing it more than one slide per page. Let me show you. Here they said print your work as handout. So if you're printing as handout, that means there has to be more than 1 slide. So here they say 4 slides. So there are 2 forms of headers. Headers in the header in the original, in the A4 paper that everything is going to appear, and then the header in the individual slides. Okay, so now they didn't specify which of the headers, and I think it is important to add it in both of them. So for you to add it in all of them, for you to add the header here, let me just show you quickly. You go to insert, and then you see header. So here you see there is no header here. You have only footer. Now when you click here, you have header, but this header is for notes and handouts. That is, it is going to be just in the individual pages, not in the individual slides. Okay, so let's come here. So we're asked to add both header and footer. Okay, so let's do the footer here. So you click on this so that the footer is going to be active. You see, it's active. You see, it's active. This one is for the page number. Okay, the slide number. If you want it, if you don't want it, since we were not told to either put it or not to, we can leave it this way. So I will come here and then I'll add the footer. So the footer is supposed to be your reg number, your index number. So I don't know what index number you want to use. So let me leave it at that. So that's my index number. So here I will click this and put the header here. So this header is going to appear in the whole, in each of the pages that we're going to use. I will show you again what I mean. So they say it should be statistical analysis for records of accidents in a week. So let's double check. Statistical analysis for records. Okay, for records of accidents in a week. So make sure that you get everything here right. Okay, accident, not accidents. So this footer is going to be for the notes here. Okay, that is when you print your work. each A4, each page, each A4, not each slide, each A4 will contain your header here, which is this very one, and then the footer, which is your reg number. Now we equally need to do the same thing for the individual slides. It is very important. So for the individual slide, we can only include a footer. Okay, we can only include footer. So the footer says our reg number, so you must make sure that your reg number is the same. Don't mind this crazy thing I'm doing here. Make sure that you are putting in your reg number. Slide, we can include the slide. Here it is going to appear, you see this very page number here is going to appear in the A4, at the footer of the A4. Okay, you can see there. Watch, you see there. Aha. Okay, so that is that. Any other thing that we need to do here? So let's click on apply to all. You see, so that's your reg number here. You see, but the header, there's nothing showing there. Okay, now watch, let's do Ctrl P to show you exactly what I mean. Let's go to font. They say 4, right? 4 slides per one. Here is the header for the A4, and then here is the footer for the A4. So this is the page number, and then here is the date. Please be careful of this date. Be careful of this date. If you don't want it, you can actually remove it. I'll show you how to do that quickly. But if you must use it, make sure that the date corresponds with the date of the examination, especially if your system's date is wrong, so that it will not be seen as a case of malpractice. Okay, all right, let's go back first, and then I'll show you how to put this individually. The footer here, this header, I'll show you how to put it individually in the individual slides. Okay, all right, so let's go to view, go to slide master. Now the slide master, anything you do in this very top one is supposed to appear in every other slides, with the exception of the first slide, of the title slide. Now this is what I mean. I will come here, and then I'll go to insert. I'm going to click on text box, and then I'll just select the text box, drag, and then I'll put in my reg number. So please remember your reg number. Make sure it's your reg number. Okay, so I'll put it in here. Now if I put it in here, it is going to appear in every other slide as I earlier mentioned. I can make it bold if I want to, and then I'll come here, you see, but it is not here, but it is in other slides. Okay, so that is a way to put it. But remember, we're not to put our reg number here. Sorry, we're asked to put accident something. Okay, so let me take the lazy approach. I'm going to leave this slide master. I'll just, as a lazy man, I'll just come here. What is that thing again? Insert, header, footer. I'll just come here and copy this. Okay, yeah, lazy approach, I know. Okay, so I'll go back to the slide master by clicking on view and then slide master. So remember, I'll need to go to the top here. So I want to change this. I'm putting the header as instructed, and then I'm going to adjust this a bit so that it aligns at the top there. So I think this is good. Okay, so we need to copy this and paste it in the first page, which is the title page. Okay, so that way it appears everywhere. Each of the slides will have it. Okay, so I can hit my Ctrl S to save, close the slide master, and go back to my work. Now you can see it appearing everywhere. So with this, you are sure, aha, there's something we need to change here. Watch this, please. If you watch, you'll see that the footer is covering some text here. So we need to go back and make sure we do the adjustments properly. Okay, so here it's okay, here it's good. Okay, so we need to adjust it. So how do we do that? Let me see. So I can take this up a little bit, and then I can bring this down a little bit. So this is good. This is good. Let me delete this, please. You need to delete this. You don't need anything there. Okay, you don't need anything there. So this is okay. Let me adjust this a bit. Please, you need to go back and look at your work and try to do some adjustments. It's very important, okay, so that you have a final work that looks good. Okay, so I think this is okay. So the reg number is showing, the index number is here, okay, and then the header is here as well. Okay, so this is okay, this is okay. So let me check this one again. Okay, so I can actually bring this down a little bit. That won't be a problem. Let me check this. This is good, and then this is also good here. So everything looks okay. Everything looks okay. Save your work. Of course, we have done that already. So remember, this is usually the first thing that you must do. Okay, so print your work as a handout or 4 slides on a page and submit to the supervisor. So you save and then you print. So I'll do Ctrl P. So here you are not told what orientation to use. So if you use a portrait, the individual slides will look quite small. Okay. Remember, I promised you guys I was going to show you how to either add this or remove it or edit it if you want. Okay, so let me change the orientation first to landscape. Good. So this looks a lot better since we're not instructed on what orientation to use, so you use what's best for you. So your reg number is shown here because even here you can see it's very small, so it's difficult to read. So it's shown here, which is great, and this header is also showing here, which is also great. So this is the actual date that I prepared this paper. Okay, however, so you can change, you can remove this if you want to by clicking on edit header. So when you click on edit header, you can see page number, so you can take away this page number if you want. You can see header here. Okay, you can see footer, you can see date. Now click on date, because by default it will appear. You can go to fixed. If you don't want it, you can delete it, or if the date is wrong, you can change it here. Okay, so I can delete this if I don't want, and then I'll click apply to all. So once I do that, this date disappears. So if you want to leave it without the date, fine. If you want to change the date, it is still okay. So once you're done, you're good to go. All you have to do is to select the printer that you want to use, and then you print your work, and that is it. Okay, all right, so let me know if everything is okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. Before we go, let me quickly show us the sample of what they want us to do. Okay, so this is the mark scheme, the sample that was used for the marking. So this is what you have. So you can see it closely aligns with what we did, which is very okay. All right, so please leave me a comment if you have any particular questions. If there's anything that you feel I didn't do well, please do well to let me know. I will go over it and respond to you. If need be, I don't mind, I can prepare an updated version. Okay, if there's anything that is worthy of note, please do well to share, do well to like, do well to subscribe. I'll catch you again in the next video. Bye for now.